Hello and welcome back to this section. In this section, we are going to be working on if statement. Now, if statement is a special control structure. In the if statement are logical expressions that we use in PHP to make our code to do certain things based on conditions. For example, I'm going to be giving us an example based on a real life program and on real life program. Exactly. Now, for instance, we have a database and we have a PHP file, and we want to connect that database to the PHP file. So we have the name of the database as, for example, we give it the name as post. So we want to connect that post database to the PHP file. What we are going to do is that we are going to use the if statement to check if the connection is right, and we are going to execute a statement. Then if the connection is not right, then we're going to execute a statement. For example, we have if post is true, okay? So if post is right, if the connection is correct, execute this. Else, if the connection is not right, execute this. So that's just what the if statement is all about. Say they control the flow of our program in any programming language and in PHP also. The if statement are one powerful tool that we cannot bypass when developing applications or thereabouts. Now let's move on to what we have to do. Let me show you some stuff. Now let's go to our code editor. Now we're going to open a new file for this. So we'll come down here and we have if statement. Let's put an underscore there. .php. All right. So we have our PHP file right here. So don't forget that we need to put the HTML doc structure. So here we have, let's put down our PHP syntax. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with the if. So I'm going to comment here if statement. So for example, so this is how the syntax of the if statement looks like. So we have if, we put a parenthesis, then we have a curly brace. Now inside this parenthesis is where our conditions are going to be passed in. Okay, if the condition is true, then it executes whatsoever we have inside this block. So we have an opening block and we have a closing block. So I'm going to put something inside this condition. Don't forget that PHP has an internal calculator. So we're going to have 3 less than 10. Okay. So this here, the condition here says 3 is less than 10. Now I'm going to execute something in here. So I'm going to echo 3 is less than 10. So put a semicolon at the end, closing up that expression. Now if you look what we have, if you look at what we have here now, we have the condition right here saying 3 is less than 10. Now obviously we all know that this condition is true. So 3 cannot be greater than 10. So obviously this condition is a true condition. Now let's move on to our browser and check what we have. So we have, let's put down localhost/demo. Don't forget that we're using demo since the beginning of this as our course, the PHP course. Now you're gonna see all the files that we've opened here. So let's go into the if statement. Okay, now we have 3 is less than 10. Now let's go back to our code, and let's look at how, in case this our program is a false program. If the condition is false, let's see if the statement is going to be executed. So I'm going to reload again. Now we see that the statement goes away. Now that is to say, if the condition is false, the statement is not going to execute. But if the condition is true, okay, the statement is gonna execute. Now what if we have a true condition here? In case that we want to try, we want to put in another statement in case the condition is not true. How are we going to achieve that? Now we're going to do that using the else. Okay, now the else, we have the else here. If this if condition is not true, then it goes down to the else to execute whatever statement is in the else. So we're going to have echo it is not. Okay, now I'm going to continue. I'm going to take this I'm going to use this change the condition we have there. So we have 3 is greater than 10. So obviously 3 is not greater than 10. It's false. Now we are going to go back to our browser and check what we're going to have there. Okay, we have an error on line 17. Okay, so you see, I forgot to put a semicolon. So it's very, very important that after every of your program, your expression, you end it with a semicolon. If not, it's going to give you an error. So let's go check it out now. So we see what we have here. It is not. Let me increase this a little for us to see. All right, so that's good. That's better. So here we have it is not. Okay, now this is because what we have in the if condition is a false condition. That is, the condition here is false, then it goes and executes what we have on the else. Okay, it goes and execute the else statement. If this condition right here is true, it executes the statement we have inside the block. But if the condition right here is false, it goes down and executes the statement we have execute the statement we have inside the else. Okay, so that's just what I need to let you know in this particular program. Now, what if we have more than one condition that we want to test? We have the if condition testing. We have the if testing one condition. What if you are creating a program that you require to test more than one condition? We're going to introduce the else if. Now we have else if. Now this else if is going to enable us to create other conditions. Okay, so we have else if. So let's put this here. 4 is 4 is less than 5. Okay, so I'm going to put the echo of course 4 is less than 5. All right, now this is what happened here. Okay, first of all, let's go check what we have here. Let's reload this. Okay, I didn't put a semicolon there, so we see how important semicolon is in PHP. All right, so we have here, of course, 4 is less than 5. Why is this happening this way? Now this is what's going to happen. The condition, this if condition is going to check, the program is going to check if the if is true. If the if condition is not true, then it goes to the next condition we have here. All right, then if the next condition is true, it executes the statements that we have there. In case the two conditions are not true, then it's going to execute the else. Okay, if the program check the if condition, if the if condition is false and it goes on to check the else if and it's false, then it goes down here to execute the else statement. That is to say, this only one program can be executed, only one condition can be executed. That's the summary of the whole thing here. Only one condition can be executed. It's either the if is being executed or the else if is being executed, or if the if and the else if is not true, then the else statement will be executed. Let's try and remove this, put this to be 4. So 4 is not greater than 5, so this is a false condition. This right here is a false condition. So what are we going to have here? So we will load this, it will give us it is not. So that's just it about the if statement. It's very, very easy. What you just need to do is to understand the program, the flow of the control structure when developing applications. So there is no aspect of a programmer, there's no time a programmer will be building applications that will not require him to use this control structure, which is the if statement. I believe you have a good understanding of what the if, the else if, and the else statements can enable us to achieve. So I believe you have a good understanding about that. All right, thank you for this. Thank you for your time, and bye for now. See you in our next session. Bye.